It is. I'm glad they have something that's still left over from the old days here. Just getting a few people starting to come on here. I'm going to wait here. We're at the Polo Grounds area here in North Manhattan, New York City. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to hang on here for a second before I... Good morning, Lindsay. Hey, how's it going in California? Hey. Hey guys, it's 40 degrees and we're in New York City. Thank you guys for turning on the show. And we are at the site of the Polo Grounds where the Giants, the San Francisco Giants, played as a young team from 1889 to 1957. And basically, after the Giants left here, it was used for a few more years, and the last year or two by the Mets. And ultimately, it was destroyed and made housing of it. So we're at the top of a staircase. It's called the John Brush Stairway. And John Brush basically owned the San Francisco, the New York Giants in the late 1800s all the way until his death in 1912. But I'm going to take a look. There's a staircase going from Coogan's Bluff, and here are my friends here, Audrey and Sean, also Giants fans that have made the trek. And we're going to take this staircase. This was the staircase that fans would take to go into the game. It's from the top of Coogan's Bluff. Just across the street would be the ticket booths to go into the Polo Grounds. And the Polo Grounds were built around 1880, originally as a polo stadium, just like it sounds. But baseball quickly began being played there, and the Giants came there in mid-season of 1889, 1890 being their first season. We're going to take these steps down as if we're going to the old Polo Grounds, and we're going to go to the site of where home plate was, which is now that big tower. The home plate is right there at the base of that building, and we're going to take a look at the plaque that actually commemorates where home plate was approximately. Just to tell you some details about the Polo Grounds, everybody remembers certain things about it. We know that in 1954, when the San Francisco or New York Giants were in the World Series, Willie Mays made his great over-the-shoulder catch. That was in the first game of the '54 World Series against the Cleveland Indians, and that really gave the Giants some momentum to eventually win. Hey, thank you guys for tuning on. I really appreciate it. And so Willie Mays basically played here as a young player, and he made that great catch. Also, we know when the New York Giants were playing against the Brooklyn Dodgers, our rivals, in 1951 for the pennant, Bobby Thompson made the game-winning home run, a walk-off home run, to win the game in the final game of the 1951 series. And as a kid in the 60s in the Bay Area, I used to listen to Russ Hodges and Lon Simmons. They were the croup and Kipe of Giants baseball. And Russ Hodges was in fact the broadcaster who called the Bobby Thompson home run in 1951. So I got to listen to him as a kid of the 60s, and it was very exciting. Hey, thanks Giants fan. I really appreciate you guys. I certainly miss Lon Simmons too. He was one of my absolute favorites. I even liked him better than Russ Hodges, and I was sad to see him pass a couple years ago, or I guess a year plus ago. But a little bit of information you might not be aware is that basically when Babe Ruth left the Boston Red Sox, he came to play for the Yankees. And in 1920, when baseball changed the hardness of the baseball and made it much firmer, and the balls traveled further, Babe Ruth played for the Yankees, and he played here at the Polo Grounds. So in 1920, 21, 22, when Babe Ruth was starting to really break all the records for home runs. Hey, Curtis Stan, thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. Babe Ruth was hitting home runs at the Polo Grounds. And a number of other special things happen at this field. Sadly, the only baseball player that I know that was ever killed in a baseball game was killed here in 1920, and he was actually hit by a pitcher. And back in the 20s, they didn't use helmets, and unfortunately, he died. And that was a sad point here in the stadium. The park, even at the very end, was bigger than AT&T Park. It could handle 56,000 here at the Polo Grounds, much bigger. It had very unusual dimensions. The right field at the Polo Grounds at the end was about 257 feet. So if you hit it right down the line and hit it over about a 15-foot wall, you had a super short porch home run. And if you ever go to AT&T Park and you look at the retired numbers, one of the numbers you'll see is Mel Ott. And Mel Ott, I believe, hit 511 home runs. And hey, yeah, thanks, Chili. I'm doing my best. Mel Ott basically was a pull hitter. He was not your typical beefy home run hitter. And he hit a lot of his 511 home runs right down right field line, down to that 257-foot corner. It takes a lot of skill to hit one down, right down the line. Most players hit their home runs 100 feet or further off the foul poles. I study that kind of information to position myself for Mccovey Cove, but Mel Ott hit him right down the corner, and he took advantage of the short porch. If you looked out in deep center field, if you look at the famous catch that Willie Mays made in 1954, you see a sign. I think it's either 483 or 84 feet. I mean, it's incredible. But deep center field at the Polo Grounds was crazy deep, crazy deep. So if you hit it to straight center, you're going to have a difficult time making it out. Only a few players were able to hit it out into that deep center area. Babe Ruth did it. He was the first one to do it. I think there was only like 4 or 5 players that hit it out to deep center that made it completely out. So it was a very difficult thing. If you guys have any questions, ask them. I'm going to try to watch the screen better than I've been doing, guys. We're going to take a walk down the steps here, and we're going to show you some of the original steps. We're going to believe like we are New York Giants, San Francisco Giant fans going into the park now. So here we go. We're going to take our Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I'm going to flip over and just give you a look here, show you. I'm in my Giants colors here. Hang on, guys. See if I can get this thing to work here. There we go. Okay, it's 40 degrees here in New York City.
The coldest it's been.
Yeah, it's been very warm, I've got to say. Audrey's telling me, yes, it's very hot. I've got my new gamer sweatshirt, Mccovey Cove Dave Christmas present, and I'm wearing orange underwear, but I don't think that really matters. We're going to go take the tour right now, and then we're going to turn it on when we get down to the home plate area, and we'll show you where home plate is, okay? And I'm going to flip it over now, and we're going to take the tour down the steps here, and you'll see some of the great, they actually put some names into the walkway down. Go Giants! Okay, let's see if we can flip this over here. Okay, let's go, guys. You lead the way. So what happened is that most fans entered the Polo Grounds from Coogan's Bluff, where we are, and they entered the Polo Grounds by walking down these 80 steps. This is the only original part of the Polo Grounds that survived. These steps were put in 1913. Even though the park started in 1880, they didn't really have good steps until this was put in 1913 to basically commemorate the first Giants, or actually I should say a longtime Giants owner, maybe the first one, John T. Brush. So these are the original letters of the stairway that were put in 1913, and about 5 years ago, a lot of the cement around that lettering was basically in bad shape, and it's all been put in new. This cement around those letters is maybe like 2 years old. Thank you guys for being on today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to start a new show in a second when we reach the home plate area. Thank you guys so much. And don't forget, this is an even year. And you know what that means. It's our year. Thanks again, and I'll see you in a few minutes at home plate. Love you guys.